Hopefully I can put this on YouTube as well.
Uh,
All right. I like the decal preset. Perhaps inspired by me. I honestly like that you didn't try to force there because you're in the corner. Oh, that is ambitious. It could work if you get a good touch, but kind of risky.
yeah, just a little hesitation there.
Yeah, like if you're doing this, you gotta have like Zen level confidence.
Like, if you back it up to where he's just sitting there, like just getting wider sooner.
Here?
You can see that place coming across as soon as he gets off the ball.
Oh shoot, I should probably screen share for you.
Yeah, like if you back up to 451.
Yeah, like proactively moving into the space on the left by going.
Yeah, like because
Yeah.
you see your teammates coming in, and as soon as you see here basics caught front post,
Yeah.
D Journey's not back in time. The best thing Husky can do is just launch this across the field.
Yeah.
So you just want to immediately get as wide as you can, so that way you have as big of an angle as possible on it.
For sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So that's what I find about NA is they're too passive as second man.
To like moving into the right space.
Yeah.
Like playing very
And
reactive.
so there, yeah, like right there, he's just a tad bit too late because he pauses there to slow down to kind of play for both options versus that ball's probably coming across.
Yeah, it's like there's not a lot of reacting to do there. Like you know what's gonna happen, kind of deal.
Yeah.
I like the break check. I actually don't know if there was a better position you could have held here. I'm thinking maybe not a full
So,
rotation. Like,
yeah, I would
right
have
here.
immediately challenged that in the corner. Why are you giving them space?
Immediately challenge on the corner. You're saying here? Challenge this?
Yeah. Once you got that boost, you're in an advantage state. At the very, like, you don't necessarily need to attack it, like, fully challenge this. Like, right here, grabbing the boost is good. You fake the challenge,
I honestly don't know if grabbing the boost is, like, yeah,
grabbing
I mean,
the boost is good, but you grab the boost, and so now, like, if you're in 1v1 in this situation, you grab this boost, you're not immediately leaving that.
Oh, yeah.
And your goal as first should be to set up your second man.
For sure, yeah. Here, I'm just a little worried because if Proxima is going for the boost, I feel like Basic can, if he challenges this, it's like a 1v2 kind of, right? Because Proxima's going in the corner.
Well, he shadows this well.
Yeah.
Or like fake challenges this well, so that way he doesn't go. But as soon as he grabs that boost, like, instead of Husky having to come in with this awkwardness,
yeah,
because he's coming in from so far out, if you can limit those options to push it in either way, so that way your teammate has a better read on where this is going.
For sure.
Because you can do this on your way out as well. Like if Proxima was challenging this here and was hitting it to the side, or at least cutting off the wall or cutting off the center.
Yeah.
Now Husky has an easy read on, okay, this is going left or right versus, oh, this
I just have to mark literally everything.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, like if you watch like Zen and Vatira play twos, they're on that ball 100%. And setting up their teammate, or at least making it more difficult for the opponents.
It's always a good reminder that those are the things that separate them more than this ceiling pinch into double.
Yeah.
I kind of got brain fog for a second. How did this end up working? It's a good break check, but being in that situation is really bad in the first place.
Yeah, they just full committed.
Yeah. Counter attack.
And like this is actually a good example of why you don't just immediately rotate out from basic. You go from his POV after that challenge.
Around here?
Yeah.
I'll play it back.
So like what? Yeah. So like right here, this is good to see if his teammate's getting that. Go for this bump.
I don't mind.
But then here he needs to continue through
Yeah.
with momentum towards that same side.
Yeah, I would have liked if
That's
he
where the
turned
play's
right
going.
after getting like if he like here turn right.
Yeah, because you got all your momentum going towards the right. There's no reason to stall that out. Because
Yeah.
if you continue that momentum, you steal that boost possibly, and then Husky doesn't get a counterattack on your teammate who's low boost.
I have to say it wasn't really decision, but it was a nice recovery.
Yeah.
Eh. I think if he went AFK, the same thing would have happened actually. So. I like the kickoff. I've been copying the way the Zen kickoff cheats, so that's really nice.
Yeah, like all this is really good. Like he's just kept his momentum up. He just slightly misspaces this.
Yeah, I like this.
Husky gets any sort of touch there, he's back in time for that.
I like this too. But right here you could have done first killer likes to do this a lot. He'll drive back a little bit and then he'll backflip. This would have been the perfect time to do that. Because it's really hard to control that ball right here. Like, AJ's one of the players that comes to mind because I was watching his ones YouTube videos today. He's a player that can actually catch this and perfect flick it, or perfect flick it, but most players can't. So you could probably backflip here and you have a good chance to save it. You'll have to dive at some point. You have to take a risk at some point. I think that's your best chance.
Right here, where he slows it down and cuts to the outside, that's the issue. Like, you just got to guard net, and you instinctively guard your corner because of shadow positioning.
I feel like this is just autopiloting on rotation because he's like thinking about going for the boost for a second, then he's like, oh, well, I actually have to defend a 1-1. What's going on here? We are watching a viewer's 1900 EU 2's replay. I'm in comms with JC Hammer, who's in chat, invited him to join me.
Good patience.
I like this. Ceiling maybe? Perfect. Teammate should finish that. Hold on. Nice play.
So one thing right there, back it up to right here. He's done that pop so many times it's become a habit, and his opponents read it and just challenged him versus the ball.
Yeah.
This is where, when we talk about creativity at the pro level, this is what we're talking about. That pop-up worked, I think, once, maybe twice already, or you've already done that enough that they go, okay, this guy likes to pop the ball and go in the air.
Yeah.
So he's not even playing the ball here. He's just immediately challenging you to get you off the ball.
You like to talk about conditioning a lot. I've heard on your podcast. So, like,
yep.
If you've conditioned them and you're going to pop it every time, why not bang it on the back wall? He's probably going to face the ball and be awkward, not be able to read it, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So is it like a bad play per se? Only because you've already done it so many times.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, like if this was the beginning of the game, this is a good play, but yeah, it's a
like right there you have
point.
an open net because you've conditioned him to that you're going to slow down and pop this.
Yeah.
Versus if you just immediately shoot this, yeah, he maybe still saves it, but if you look at their boost counts, he was playing for your pop.
Yeah.
And so now he has to use even more boost, and so that's going to drain their boost, and you're going to have a easier follow-up attack.
Yeah, you definitely can go for the quick shot, but even putting it to backboard will give you a pretty high chance of scoring, I feel like. Like right behind him. He's not guarding that spot at all.
Right? I would just put it fast on net. The issue is that there's still enough spacing that if you just slam this backboard,
the other guy
at this level, they can read that backboard bounce. So bad idea, no, but just a preference.
They can deal with it with mechanics, kind of do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like you hesitated a little too much here. Like here...
Yeah, this looks like a mechanical mistake.
This is already... Well, yeah, I think it's a mechanical mistake, but it's also a decision-making mistake. Because there's no mechanics involved in just turning and challenging here.
Yeah, I feel like that was a misflip right there.
Yeah.
I feel like he was going for like a musty, or he was leaning back to do like a front flip challenge or something. You just messed it up.
I was scared Journey would either bump me or touch it. thing that Beastmon and Daniel did a lot at Gamers 8 was they would challenge the ball in a way that allows them to keep going back. So you could challenge this by side flipping, and you would basically be taking zero risk aside from like a small chance that maybe he demos you, which is okay because the ball's going to go in the corner, it's going to bounce up, and your teammate's back. And you'll respawn
Another
with
thing
those.
you could do is instead of jumping for that immediately, is if you drove up much closer to this before you jumped, that way even if it pinches high off your backboard. So instead of jumping there, you drive into it a little bit to kind of bait the shot out, and then you just jump and pinch that high.
Yeah. They'll probably end up going too, so you'll get a 50 out of it. Take one guy out. Nice kickoff.
So right here, this goes back
I was
to
gonna
that same
say,
thing
yeah,
I talked about at the
this
very
looks
beginning.
exactly like the play from before where you should play wide because the ball is gonna go wide.
Yeah, like the thing is if you stay wide here and you give yourself a little bit more like space to get timing, like go up the wall a little bit here. Because you see that he's gonna get here first. If he bangs this ball immediately, you're coming in off the wall. But if it takes a little bit longer, you have that run up to continue your speed to where Husky can just bang this back post to you.
Yeah, definitely. And by staying like really wide here without getting very close, there's also almost no risk of basic clearing the ball and you not being able to get back in time.
Yeah, like
that is a
risk
risk you have to think about.
Yeah, like worst case scenario, like this ball gets banged over to you, then you're already in the perfect position to rotate back post if you want to play the shot. Or really, you'll probably dust everybody here to that ball anyway.
Yeah, you're coming in with momentum, basics, no boost, no momentum. Yeah, that's definitely yours. And he even whiffs the free ball. That's how good of a situation it was.
Yeah, if you just stay wide there. Also, if you go from Husky's angle, when he's making his touch, like, if you just sit wide there, look how easy of a pass this is.
Yeah.
If he just sees you stop there, you're like, oh, let me dime this dude up. Because we know basics is on low boost because of the kickoff.
Honestly,
but because you're because you're inching in, you hide yourself from him. I think he's going for that solo play either way, but so I think if he gets a better touch right here, like that's an easy doomsy dish. But
well, I mean, it kind of looks hard to pop this ball out because he's like kind of inching in. Like if he was more like wide, you can put this ball in a straight line and it's probably a goal. But it's kind of hard to hit that ball to the top of the box from like it's not really like off of the back wall.
Yeah, there's a lot that he could do if he's thinking pass and sees pass. This guy's going for the solo play no matter what in this situation, but just easier follow-ups if you're playing with a teammate who does like to pass.
Yeah,
just staying wide gives them more of that option.
I still think that if Proxima was wider, then maybe Husky would have been more inclined to pass it.
Yeah.
That's actually a very smart play. It should just be a free net. Nice.
Yep.
I'll watch that one more time. Yeah, that's clean.
Yeah, the big thing Husky did there is he didn't shoot it super hard. He just tapped it on that original shot. Because if he hits that hard and basically gets a touch, that's careening out. But because he made that softer hit, there's not as much power for him to get this rebound. I
may be overconfident in my mechanics, but I feel like I could control this ball perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, I feel like this would just
be a free
ball.
But the thing is that still keeps it close to the net.
Yeah, I guess.
That still has pressure, but...
You don't think if you control it to the corner, then, like, pressure kind of fades out? No.
Because if you look how aggressive he's pushed up after this, if he tries to control this, he's immediately getting bumped off this ball.
Yeah, that's a good point. He is. And then Proxima's going to be able to deal with the ball that like spills out.
Yeah.
What the heck? Horse dashing. Monkey Moon's actually very I've been in this spot a lot where I have the ball in the corner, I'm able to air dribble it, but there's a guy on the wall that's watching it very aggressively. He doesn't even
Mm-hmm.
bother. You just play it low because like why are you playing into his hand? Just
Yeah.
play it into the space that he's giving you. He's giving you that entire back right on the ground. I think even in threes, it's very viable to play it onto the ground there.
Yep. And you see how DJ wasn't even worried about the shot because, yet again, you get a free ball. What do? Pop it up. Set up an air dribble. Control
He's
play.
almost challenging it. He knew that you were going to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, not a bad attempt on the play.
Like you get that musty. That's probably a goal. But just pointing out that mixing up those options is important.
So maybe here you could play it onto the sidewall. Single jump and then flip to follow it up. Rolls up the wall.
Yeah. Get a soft touch.
Yeah.
Or even just low cut it behind basic. Like this, tap this a little bit towards your corner.
I don't know. I feel like that gets rid of like the threat of a 1v1.
Well, the issue is you still need to buy time for Husky to get some boost, but it is a more aggressive option. But because everybody's expecting to play it forward, playing it to the side wall behind basic, you have less of a chance of getting bumped. You can also, because you have the boost advantage here, you can straight 50 this to the wall.
That's true. I think a 1v1 chance is really hard to pass up on for most players, but I see where you're coming from. Like if you're thinking in numbers and like theory, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to just play for your teammate. I would feel confident in an air dribble bump there though.
Yeah.
I like the way you aerial for it. But
yeah, like this is one of those times like if Husky challenged that immediately after like in their opposite corner after this play at like 220 or 219, like if he just shadows and forces this, maybe a little bit harder once basic gets it to the wall.
yeah, now that I'm looking at it, Husky should have helped.
Yeah.
Aside from that, all I can say is if you're being very disciplined, you could probably take the mid-left boost and challenge him earlier. It would be tough, but I think it would put more pressure on basic. You might be able to go off the ceiling, and that would force him to slow down his play, which means that Husky could come back.
Yeah, another thing you can do is one of the main goals as first man is to provide certainty for your guy behind you. So you're assuming the first man role here. Instead of necessarily trying to get like the best challenge and like do this all yourself, if you've got a teammate that you trust, just start floating and the path of basics is taking this ball. Because then it, again, just like you force it left or right, you're forcing him to take it high or low, and then Husky has an easy read.
Yeah. Floating here would have probably been the best bet. If you're the one that's supposed to go for this, which Husky kind of forces you to be.
But good mechanics to get yourself out of it.
Yeah, well done.
A little bit of a heavy touch, but it's all right. So right here, when you land, that's where because you have all this momentum, I'm immediately challenging basics here.
Yeah, because like basic has so much time to go up the wall, and this isn't the first time you've allowed him to do that.
Yeah, because right here, if you force this off of him, now Husky doesn't have to be the one to force, and then now you're basically forcing it for your teammate, and you've got the momentum.
Yeah. And even if you don't reach the ball, which I don't know if you... I think you will reach the ball, or the bump at least. Even if you don't reach it...
You still force basics to take this quicker.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, you're forcing him to go so fast to where he probably won't be as threatening.
Yeah, he won't be able to control it. And if you make the habit of, hey, I'm still continuing to challenge, your teammate's going to sit further back, and they're going to be able to use even more time to grab boost. And then when they have the free ball, instead of having 60, they'll have 80 to 100.
Yeah. You want to condition your teammates to think like the same thing over and over again with you, right?
Yeah. The big thing is you just don't want to give the opponents time and space. Because you see how, like, because you gave them that time and space, like, how much pressure they're able to exert just from you forcing your teammate to challenge versus using, like, the momentum you have to challenge and letting your teammate attack with boost versus letting your teammate attack with the boost while you use your momentum to recover.
The first 50 happens. I think that's a good 50. And Husky pushes the ball out. You're ready to follow it up. Could have been a little bit closer, but a little bit more proactive. I think going for the boost here is really risky. It's a good thing you turn around when you do.
Yeah, there's that hesitation again. You got the boost. You dodge this bump. This ball gets popped up. You just need to immediately go for this.
Yeah.
Because if that's a better player, that shot's coming in harder.
Not only is the shot coming in harder, the bump is also going to be more accurate.
Yeah.
You got this dude. He almost gets you. He's like an inch off.
Yeah.
What's up, man? I don't know if there is something you can do. Well,
like maybe if you pad a little bit more, like you have that opportunity. But as far as what you can do in rank, that's just about it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he missed one pad. That's the only thing that I could say you could have really done better in that situation.
Your teammate does a good job of doing what JC said earlier. I personally would have waited a second more to challenge this, because if this ball pops out a little bit differently, he's able to flick it around you. And I think he tries. No, he doesn't try for it, which is actually really smart from him.
That's a double commit. Husky's challenging for you, and you're pushing up. This is where you got to think of twos differently than threes. And threes, I would say this is a good challenge because you're setting up the guy behind you. But in twos, first man has to force this, and that's what Husky's doing here. You need to sit a little bit back. You need to wait for him to do his job because he's setting you up here for an open goal. If Husky gets any sort of like dead 50 here, if you give yourself that little bit of extra space to be able to read that, look at where you hit the ball versus if you were just a few, like a half second later and gave your that time to react to it, you're putting that on net every day of the week. Because Husky is the one who pops that ball up against basic. You're just slightly too early.
This is good. I like that a lot. Nice.
Yep.
Oh, good try. Probably should have just
stay on it. Yep.
Yeah.
Like right here, you dodge the bump. Why force your teammate to come up, concede all this space, let him get comfortable, and then try and make a play? Like, just be on him, your first man.
I'm not gonna lie. The more I watch this, Proxima, this actually resembles the way I play a lot too. So, I mean, this is, I guess, a big thing for me to keep in mind too, because I'll do this a lot. I'm like incredibly passive to a fault. And so I'll just rotate back and I'll let my teammate go regardless of where they are and where I am. Like, it's kind of just like a default for no reason.
Well, it's because of threes. Like, what you're doing is perfect in threes because you have that person coming in to challenge as you're rotating in. But in twos, you don't have that person rotating into challenge, so you've got to do a little bit more as first man. But in threes, it's ball chasing.
I played a lot of rank B, and in rank B, you are not playing to like rotate properly. You were just playing to save the ball from going in your net because something stupid was going to happen every time.
Yeah.
I do want to see how your teammate challenged. The jump is a little undisciplined. If he drives through this to force him to go fast and then pads so that you can challenge, I think I like this.
Yeah, because you see, the way he does that is he forces him to use boost and take this early.
Yeah.
He doesn't let him get the comfortable setup. He's got to get this quicker. And so by the time he's getting that flip reset and like shooting that, he doesn't have the boost to get a good one because he challenged it immediately and made him use those resources then.
Oh, are you guys teamed up together? Oh, interesting. Oh, if you're in comms, yeah, this becomes an even easier thing, because I do agree with what Proxima is saying in chat, which is that turning a lot as first man, turning in, can be a little confusing for second man, because a lot of the time people will choose the less risky or like confusing thing. So if they're already like facing away from the ball, they'll just rotate out. But if you're in comms, there's no excuse then, because you can just calm that you're going. So that works out pretty well. And the earlier on in the game, like JC was saying, that you start turning in and like showing your teammate that you're gonna stay a nuisance as first man, the better.
Yeah, it also makes your fake challenges even that much more effective, because if they're used to you ball chasing, they just see you coming towards them, and you're like, oh, I gotta bang the ball, and you're like, cool, I drove 2 inches and you threw the ball away to my teammate.
Yeah, that's something that Ross does a lot. He'll drive really close to the ball really fast, and then he'll turn away, and it just, he conditions his opponents to think that he's never gonna challenge, and they end up throwing it away on every fake challenge too, because he gets so close, so they always panic.
Yeah, this entire play starts because you don't pad while your teammate has the ball. Like, you should be 100 here, 100%. Your teammate has the ball. Your job is to pad.
2, 3. You don't think these 3 pads are good enough? Like, where do you want him to be here?
He needs to grab all the pads. Like,
1.
that is his only job.
Oh, on this rotation here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Totally agree with you, yeah. I don't know why he's... Yeah, the rotation was a little too panicky.
Yeah.
You're watching JJ?
Right there.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Going straight up the middle like that, facing, this is the one thing that I disagree with a lot of people on, is if you're second man, you shouldn't be facing the ball. You should be facing sideways as much as you can.
Yeah, just like a little angle to the side so you can turn back if needed.
Yeah, because if you're facing sideways here, and you stay sideways until this read happens, unless you're 100% sure that he's missing this, in which case you should already be up for it, like, being sideways is what gives you the option to play offense or defense, but because you turn in and like there's all this hesitation from it, that's the issue. But being sideways like at the start of that is good. It's just once you turn forward, you just need to go.
Which play are you referencing? Substitution.
Let's see. I think
like before or after
like
18 seconds? 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, before the goal happens?
Yeah. No, I think it's the next defense. So it may have been 30 seconds. It's like when he basics a 0 boost on the backboard, making a save. So yeah, I think it was 19 seconds. Yeah, so like.
Oh, 19 seconds?
Yeah. So I think like right
so
about
like
right about here. Like when basics is going for that.
Like facing the ball there, you don't like it? I mean, he's first man here. We were watching.
Yeah, from your teammate's perspective.
Yeah.
Second man here, like right here, like he's forward. You got to be going for this. Like right here, this is perfect right here at 14 seconds where he's sideways. Where I can play offense or defense. I can turn on whatever I need. But as soon as you turn forward to go for this, you just got to go.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because the whole point of you facing that way is so that you can play off what happens, so...
Yeah.
He
and if you're in comms,
does.
you can say...
He's slow, but he still gets there eventually. Really bad touch, but... And from your POV, what does that look like? A little ball chasey after you hit this also. I don't think the hit was the best because you know these players can read it. Yeah. I like that you go for the boost, but definitely should leave the ball, knowing that your teammate's gonna follow that up.
Yeah.
I think you kind of get lucky that you don't touch the ball there. A little tough after that.
Yeah, like right here, this is a little bit higher level, but you should see how much boost DJ is using. And you should know that if he's dropping this right here,
Oh yeah.
like right here, like you just need to immediately challenge this. Like you're just simply off of spacing. He's not going to be able to catch up to this ball and do anything with it. Like that heavy
Yeah.
touch, that's your sign that, okay, that's too heavy of a touch. That's the spacing that you can get in front of this now.
The only chance you don't even have to dive. Like if you just play close to this, like if you get to like a freak flip reset, you'll still be fine. But if you just stay
Yeah.
close and you kind of threaten the drop, like if you're watching the ground here, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah, like Jay Husky, let's get his perspective on that, because really it's just a kickoff at this point. Yeah, you're just coming in way too shallow. Like
you
see
want him
your
to go
teammate
wider.
has, yeah, like you see your teammate has full boost. You see that he's shadowing and slowing this down. You've got time to take that other pad line. Like if they get the amazing shot, they get the amazing shot, but you don't need to play for it. There are sometimes you just have to, the best decision across every game you play, you're still going to get scored on 10 to 20% of the time. And so you want to make that decision for the 80%, and if they peak, they peak.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're better than you because they peaked, cool. You don't need to play for that all the time.
This is not Jushu. This is JC Hammer. He's the assistant coach. Am I right?
Yeah.
Assistant coach for M80. And we watched 1900 EU2's replay. Honestly, pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, apply more pressure as first man. Don't just give them free space, and be more proactive in positioning as second man when your teammate has the ball, right?
Yep.
Cool. This is a good recording. I'm just gonna post this to YouTube with like straight up no thumbnail, no editing, but like it's still worth it because some dude's gonna watch this and actually benefit from it. So whoever that is, you're welcome. For JC and me just sitting here.
Damn, Taha.